Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mark with Spiguyver Backpacking. Thank you for coming out here, joining me today. I'm out here at the park. I've got a Chameleon set up behind me. So today, we're gonna do another installment, the second edition of add-ons and accessories for the Chameleon. So, first off, this is a Chameleon. This is a Dutchware gear Chameleon, and it's got some custom features. I've got a lot more to show you today. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go. So as you guys can see, this is not your custom Chameleon. This is a little bit different. I've got my custom standard body, but then I've got this top cover and this sidecar that are custom printed. Now, this is a new feature, well, semi-new, that Dutch and Dutchware gear have come out with, and that is custom printed fabrics. So this is a Spiguyver Backpacking Special Edition top cover and sidecar that Dutch had made for me. I've got them on here. Really cool. Now, you can play around with the different fabrics, the different color choices, your printing stuff. You could get hamburgers and french fries, you can get all kinds of different cool things, but you can choose which way you lay. You can have them printed on either side. For example, Dutch knows that I sleep head right, foot left, so this top cover is printed so that it shows exactly that way. Sidecar is also printed so that I can use it head side, pulled out. I could also flip it inside out, logo would be backwards, but that's okay. Now, if you go with something that's printed that isn't, one directional, then it doesn't matter which way you lay in it, which way you put it. But this is just another cool feature, something to personalize your gear and make it one of a kind. So this is the Spiguyver Backpacking Edition Chameleon. Check that out. Pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we've got going on here. So last night I came out here and I spent the night out here with my youngest son. Well, at least that was the intention. We started the night in 2 separate hammocks hung from 3 trees in a diamond pattern. Now, you may not always have that option, and you may be looking for ways to hang together, but there's only 2 trees available. And that's what I've got set up right here. So another option that Dutch offers is a spreader bar option that allows you to hang 2 Chameleons from 2 trees. Now, you do have to have 2 suspension systems, and at least 1 full set of suspension has to be the Beetle Buckle system. And the reason is you're going to use that on the head end, because that head end is where the spreader bar is going to go to keep your heads apart, and then you're able to lay in there and it's comfortable because you're spread apart, and really the distribution of movement isn't as bad as I had expected it to be. Dylan and I have slept in this configuration before. Let's take a look at the spreader bar and how that works. Okay, so here we are between the 2 hammocks, and we have this Dutchware gear spreader bar, and you've got the Beetle Buckle system, and it goes into the holes on that, and it spreads it out a pretty good distance so that head end, you're pretty far apart, and then it tapers together at the foot end, and we'll turn around and take a look at that. We'll also take a look at the attachment points here. This is a spreader bar that is able to be broken down, so it is packable. It's pretty lightweight. However, I believe you can probably go to a couple of other companies out there and get these made in carbon fiber to even lower your weight a little bit better. But this is a Dutchware gear specific, made for this purpose. So if you want the right gear for the right job, go to Dutchware, get the right stuff. Integrates perfectly with this Beetle Buckle system. So let's take a look at the interface there. Okay, so here is the Beetle Buckle. Now, the Beetle Buckle is a very easy to adjust. Just kind of pull, lift up on this to slide it down. One-handed, it's a little bit more difficult, but it's got a locking piece, and then it's got a hole in it. If you look right here, you can see there is a hole in there. The pin on the end of this spreader bar goes right into that hole, and it holds it in place, spreads them apart, and gives you that room between the 2 hammocks that you want. Now let's take a look at how it spreads the hammocks apart. So from this end, you can see the spreader bar here. You've got Beetle Buckles on either side of the spreader bar. And then you've got the hammocks converging down at the end where you're using 2 more straps to go to the second tree. Pretty cool system. And set up this way, you can use whatever top cover you want. So, for example, right now, I have these set up with the Spiguyver custom top cover on the right and a net, just a Bugnet, on the right. Now these are asymmetrical. Both of them right now are set up head right, foot left. But you could do something a little different and go top cover on one side, topless on the other side. You could go top cover on one side. You could go with a symmetrical on the other side. So let's take a look. Now, as the weather cools off, one of the things I really like to have is a top cover. The top cover really does trap in that warmth and keep you 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the outside temperature. Really, what that does is it allows you to extend the range of the quilts that you have, the insulation system, without having to go out and buy more gear. So what I have, I've got the asymmetric Spiguyver custom one over here, and on this side I've got the symmetric Moonlight top cover on this one. So this is what one of my kids would use because they flop around a lot. It has that Moonlight, so the entire torso area has meshing. However, inside it has this panel that can be zipped up to completely close it in like a sock, or you can unzip it and have a good amount of venting. Or something that someone had showed me after I did the first video, I showed this one in the first video, this top piece that unzips can actually be used as a breathalyzer. So the breathalyzer is a vapor barrier that keeps your condensation up in the head range so it doesn't go down and condense the inside of your hammock and get onto your quilt, possibly wetting out the down. It would take a lot of condensation to wet out your down, let me tell you. But that's a cool thing. So last night, while we did start out here together, my son did end up going home. And one of the reasons is he just didn't like the separation. So we could have combated that by using a system that we've used before out here at this lake that he really likes, and I actually had with me and should have thought about putting together. So let's take a look at how to bring 2 people a little bit closer together. Okay, so for this next setup, you need to start with 2 topless chameleons and then this piece. This is the double Dutch Bugnet setup. So I'm gonna get this thing set up. We'll do this in fast time so that you guys don't have to bear with me. It takes me a couple minutes to figure out the setup, which way it lays, and then we'll get it laid out and get it up there. Let's do this. Now what we have here is the double Dutch setup. So this is both hammocks. So 2 hammocks, a panel between them, tying them together, a Bugnet encompassing the entire thing, and now 2 people can lay together. If they want, they can reach over and hold hands. They can pass a book back and forth. They can talk. Nothing between them but a little bit of fabric there, because you do. As you lay in a hammock, you get down into a little trough there, and so there's almost like a little wall between you, but you can reach over and touch the person that is next to you, absolutely, no problem. And for my son, I think this created an environment where he felt safer. I was right there, right next to him. So I think next time we go out, this will be the system we use, just so that I am sure he feels safe and he feels like everything's being taken care of. Now, there are a couple of caveats to using a system like this. Because of that spreader bar system, you need a bigger tarp. You need something that's wider, that's going to be able to fit over this. and so there's a little bit less rain protection. So this is one of those things that you're gonna have to think about before you go out. What are you using for a tarp? How is the weather forecast? And take a look at that. Let's take a look inside of this at the amount of room and how it really sets up. So here it is. Here is the setup. On the foot end, you can see that both of the hammocks are pretty close together. And then you have the panel that runs down between the two that separates the two hammocks. And it's narrower at the foot end and it gets wider up at the head end. Both hammocks have their own area, but you have that panel in between. But you can see, if I open up this side of the Bugnet, you can pass all the way through to the other hammock as well. This is a great system for two people to stay close together. Now, the one thing I will also add is that all the accessories for the Chameleon are able to be used with this setup as well. So if you like a sidecar, you can have a sidecar. You could have it on this side, head end or foot end. You could have it on the other outside, head end or foot end. Or you can actually put them in the middle. So where we have, let me open this up. So right here, where this panel is, so you've got this center panel, this zipper, you can actually unzip this and put in the Chameleon sidecar and have a storage pouch. You could put as many of them in here as you want to add as much storage as you want. I've actually found that having one between the two is a nice place to store stuff that the two of you will share, such as maybe a power bank to charge phones at night. Pretty cool system. So just like all of the other top covers, this one zips right into the standard Chameleon zipper. For that center panel, I actually put that on first. And I start with the foot end, I find the narrow part, and I make sure that this clip that you see right here is on the outside. So it's actually dull on the outside, and if you look through here, it is shiny on the inside. So with the dull side outside, with the clip right there, I disconnect the clip from the Bugnet so that it's not all connected at one point. It takes a little bit of the tension off, and then I install the center panel. After that, I'll zip in the Bugnet and then come around and clip it. The one clip here, and then if we walk around to the head end, there are 3 clips on the head end. 1, 2, 3. And what that does is it creates almost like a sandwich here between the Bugnet and the fabric of that centerpiece to seal it off from any bugs entering. And then again, it is zipped all the way down through. Like I said, you could add a sidecar into here, no problem at all. So why don't I do that and show you guys? Okay, so now I've zipped in this sidecar. So from the inside, it is on, if I'm sleeping on this side and Dylan's on this side, it would be on my left side across my body. And for him, it would be head side, but across this panel in the middle. And so we'll take a look from the inside to see how that works. Now you could have one here, you could have another one right here. Lots of storage, lots of options. Anything that's available for the Chameleon works with this system as well. Pretty awesome system. So here you go. From the outside, looking through this Bugnet, you can see that brown opening right there. That is the sidecar. So if I open this up, we can take a look inside, and here I can reach all the way in, store stuff in there. You know, I've got my phone right here in my pocket, take my phone, toss it in there, and now it's down in there. If I need it during the night, I can reach down in, grab it, pull it out. So for the last piece of this does come with a very generous double-ended stuff sack that can fit the entire double Dutch system minus the spreader bar and suspension. I never keep my suspension in with my hammocks. So we'll go ahead and tear this down and show you how everything fits right into here. So I was out doing the video for this, and I got home, started doing the editing, had it pretty much wrapped up and put together when what appears online but this. So another piece in true Dutch fashion, another piece coming out. So it's time for me to show this one as well. This is the new Dutchware gear Sidesling. Now I got mine in the lime green, contrasts really well with the black that I've got. I've got it on the double Dutch setup right now, showing that you can use it in any of the configurations. You could have it here, you could have it in the middle attached to either one of the hammocks or on the other side. Just like all the other Chameleon attachments and add-ons, it is universal with all of the Chameleon setups, and it zips in. So let's take a closer look at how it zips in. Okay, so just like the Sidecar, which I have still installed right in the center, you can see the brown slot right there. You can see the double zippers that zip that in, and it's the same thing with this new Sidesling. So the difference is, if we go underneath and take a look, you can see the Sidesling hangs about half as low as the Sidecar. Now if you go back and you look at the Eagle Rock Loop Trail and the comparison video that I did between the Chameleon, the Sparrow, and the Warbonnet, you would see that one of the things I mentioned about the Sidecar was that it was about 2 times as deep as it needed to be, and really as much as I would like it to be. But then I also showed where you could actually pull yours up and create about half the depth. This is an even better option because it's longer and allows you to use more. Now it does have pullouts, so it has one pullout on either end, and these pullouts have adjustable shock cord, so you can adjust the pull. Now what I will say is, if you just let it hang, this fabric stays pretty straight up and down. But once you put the pullouts on it and you pull it to one spot, down here I've got it to a stake, you can see that it actually folds over a little bit of the end. You can see that with my Sidecar that's back here, I don't have it staked out, and I probably would not stake this one out if I was using it out on a backpacking trip. Cool thing is, with the double zippers, you can get into it from the top, just like this, or if you're inside of your hammock, you can use the other set of zippers on the other side to still get outside of your hammock, reach out and adjust your underquilt. So great functionality there. Zipper pulls on the inside and outside, and because it has this little strip of fabric right here, it goes the entire length of the hammock, zips in using the Vision zipper system that Dutch has patented for the Chameleon hammocks. Another cool feature. So guys, thanks for joining me today. As always, Dutch is coming out with new things all the time, hence this additional little segment at the end of this video. I thought this video was done, it was in editing, it was just about complete when I saw Dutch had released yet another piece. So I immediately went on, ordered it, got it to me so that I could show it to you guys and you'd see it here first. Sidesling, double Dutch Bugnet, Sidecar, custom print fabric, all this stuff is available through DutchwareGear.com. Make sure you guys check it out. Dutch is always doing innovative, new, cool things. He's got the Beetle Buckle system with that spreader bar. You don't have to use it on a Chameleon system. However, it's designed for the Chameleon system. You can use it however you want. Guys, I hope you've learned something on this. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I will see you guys down the trail. Thanks.